Why, hello, and welcome to another lawn mowing live stream. It is Tuesday, October the 7th. Hopefully, the audio is coming through, and yeah, we'll get to it. Just a smaller lawn here, small front and backyard, and just a standard mow, trim, and blow. So let's get started. I'm going to flip the camera around and go from there. Got my keys. And we'll get started. Let me know how the audio is working. I'm not sure if I did a update to iOS 26, I think it's called, and noticed that at least when using my camera app on the phone, it no longer allows me to use the Bluetooth microphone from the headset in the camera mode. So I'm not sure if in streaming, if it's still giving me audio from the microphone. So let me see. I'm just going to tap on the microphone. So let me know if you heard the tapping directly on the microphone in the chat. That would be great. Put my glasses on. This one looks pretty straightforward. No big trees or anything in the front. For leaves, I'm dealing with a lot of those today. Leaf season seems to be in full effect. This front lawn's always interesting because it's a shared front lawn between the client and the neighbor, which is pretty funny considering it's so tiny. Potentially some Schaefer beetle activity over there. Yeah, definitely wildlife pulling it up. Oh, over here too. All this here. Which is unfortunate. I did shoot this one, the Schaefer beetle, but there's a lot of variables with how effective the treatment is. Oh, just lost my string. Go fill up. I don't have my string holder, my spare string holder on the trimmer. I accidentally smashed it and haven't put another one on yet. So luckily we're not too far from the from the truck to respool. Okay, and let me know in the audio or the chat if you can hear the audio. That would be great. Three arms full. That's usually what I put on there. Cutter on there is getting loose. See that? Bit of a gap there. It's not working quite as cleanly as it should. It's a clean cut, but it took a while to get it trimmed up there. I don't know if that can actually be tightened down. That's an equipment defender one. Make sure my holes are lined up. I can see light through the other side. I'm using 0.095 and actually using Milwaukee branded string in the Milwaukee trimmer. Where were we? I think we were bound by the shed here. tripod. There it is. Oh, and last month's bill. Might as well put that in the door. Cutting it 2 inches today. So a lot of the lawns around here have been hit pretty hard by Schaefer beetle. This one's not too bad, got a little bit. I did treat this one, but a lot of variables to how effective treatment is. One of which is watering. That seems to be a pretty big variable. The ones that tend to have been watered more often, more deeply watered, seem to have been more effective with the Rub B Gone product that I put down. Let's get a different view. Again, let me know if you guys can hear the audio clearly. Not sure. And once I kind of upgraded my iPhone to iOS 26, it seems to have lost the ability to record from my headset microphone, at least in the camera app. So I'm not sure about streaming. If there's just a setting now that I have to turn on. I don't know. I haven't dug into it. I just noticed that a couple of videos I recorded on the phone where I'm like talking, thinking it's recording my audio, be talking. It didn't. So if anybody watching can volunteer in the chat, you can hear the audio that I'm talking. So she has them farther away from the camera. I'm using this Milwaukee mower now for a few minutes. Got the high lift blade on it, Milwaukee's high lift, what they call a high lift blade. I think I've talked about this a lot, how it doesn't seem like a high lift blade, it seems more like a dedicated mulching blade. One thing I found, or discovered, is that it seems to counterintuitively, it seems to prefer mowing short, which at this time of year is kind of counterintuitive when the lawn is wet and long and stuff. I tend to raise the deck up. But this particular mower blade combination likes and bags better in tougher conditions if I mow shorter. So normally for this lawn I mow 2.5 inches all year, typically, until the summertime. The growth kind of slows down and it's a little bit not as even. I usually will then mow at 2 inches. But come here in the fall, I switch back to 2.5 inches. This Milwaukee mower was not quite leaving as clean of a cut as I'd like. It just wasn't like bagging properly as well as I would like. So I decided to give the high lift blades a go again. And when I first put them on again, so I was using them for like mulching, and they work great for mulching in the summer. But again, they call them high lift blades, so I was like, I need them to bag. And that's when I decided to try to lower the deck down a notch instead of higher, like I would normally mow, say like with really wet grass and stuff. So I lowered it down and noticed that it did much better with the high lift blades on the lower height setting than on the higher. So I've been now doing it so far, the rest of like last week and this week now. I'm mowing it shorter setting. And it seems to work quite well. Also, when it's tougher conditions, like if it's wet grass and stuff, then of course having to mow on the high power setting. Is another kind of variable. So moral of the story is if you have this Milwaukee mower and you've tried the high lift blade and the results were not to your liking, try putting the mower in the full power, full RPM type mode, right there at the button, and lower the deck just a notch of what you would normally mow at. And so it seems to prefer the shorter mow. All right. Let's do a quick blowing off. This one there's not too much to blow off. The spot here I missed with the trimmer during the corner. So I will grab the trimmer. Just go knock that out. Zip that little corner. That's it. The back of his tree doesn't look too healthy. The front of it looks good though. That is about it for this one. Check the time. Let's see. This is one that I normally do on Wednesdays, but finished my Tuesdays a little bit earlier because I started them yesterday. Normally I don't mow on Mondays, but decided to knock some of the Monday ones off, or sorry, Tuesday ones on the Monday. Ooh. And that is it. All right. So thanks for joining me here on this lawn mowing live stream. Appreciate it. There's no questions in the chat or anything, so I'm just going to wrap it up there and move off to the next one. Thanks for guys for joining me on this one. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.